Blog Talk Radio.
So,
all the world's waiting for you and the power you possess. If you stand tight, fighting for your right, and they all said fighting too.
So, that was an incredible intro. Holy crap. I didn't think we had one at first because with what was going on.
Now, what will probably happen in the middle of the intro, I bet the other one will probably start playing.
You know what? That's all right, because if that's the least that happens on this show, then I call it a win.
You win?
I call it a win. So I didn't think we had one. That's why you heard my big dumb voice go, so, and then all of a sudden it started, and I was like, shut up, you big dummy. So I did. Welcome to Scream Boy Podcast on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network, live in your ear, in your face.
Oh,
I'm an idiot. But
Thug life.
Tonight, yeah, I know, right? Thug life. As I said before, as I've said many times before, I'm Sam's computer right now. Who's Sam? Gosh, it's like asking where the any button is on the computer. Press any button. Where's the any button? Anyway, I'm Sam's computer, so Mark Radulich, the patriarch of the Radulich and Broadcasting Network, is so kind to let us do some live shows on here. So we are coming to you just about every Friday night, just doing some live shows just to keep everything in the loop. And tonight I've got Jesse Street Level Starcher with us tonight. as per usual.
Yes, sir.
So it's Jesse, how you doing tonight?
Doing great, man. It's Friday night. I just sold 10 Care Bears comics for $2.25 on this auction site. That's right. I'm in the money.
You are, sir. You are. What? Care Bears.
Yeah, dude. I had.
Oh Lord.
This is okay. Let me break it down for you. So I'm doing the bidding site thing. It had, and I was like, I've got hundreds of comics here that I could honestly do without. Stuff like from Dell and from just Star Comics, crap that you just you as a kid they put these comics out there just to get your attention, and so you could get mom to buy them. Heathcliff, Garfield comics, goofy stuff like that. Well, I somehow managed to get like a run of Care Bears comics, like 10 Care Bears comics or something like that. And
right.
Sure enough, I put it on there, and I was like, well, let's see what this gets. And it got me a solid $2.25. So I'm kind of pleased with that, considering I would never use these things in a million years. However, I am kind of sad because listen to this. Like the second to last issue that I have of the Care Bears, and I might read it tonight, but the Mad Balls show up. There's a crossover between the Care Bears and the Mad Balls.
Really?
I'm not kidding, dude. I am not kidding you. So I almost want to read that just before I give it away there tomorrow for my $2.25. I'm using all this money. I'm saving all my money up for my trip to Pittsburgh to meet the patriarch himself and watch some Clutch as well. So, but I'm pretty pleased with myself. Yeah. So that's been my Friday nights. I've been watching Superstore and then waiting for my bidding to be done.
I've been meaning to ask you about that Superstore. How is that?
It's pretty good. It's not bad. I mean, if you've worked retail,
Yeah, I'll need to say that.
Yeah, you
I might
can
have worked
identify.
retail.
You can identify with so much in this, and of course, I got the hankering to watch it after the guys over on the Kapow podcast were doing a rundown of like their top 10 favorite TV shows that are going on right now. I think Cliff put Superstore on his list, so I was like, okay, I've been meaning to kind of get into just to give it a test and see what it's like. Now, my wife used to work for Walmart, so she knows all about what Superstore can be and some of the funny stuff that's going on. This last episode I was watching, every once in a while they'll do like this, just show you like a customer that's shopping in the store for like, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds, and then they'll go back to the story. The last one was like this little kid was riding in those little Barbie cars, and then all of a sudden, all of a sudden this Jimmy Johnson shows up, the NASCAR driver shows up in a little truck beside him, runs the kid out of the aisle into a bunch of toilet paper, and then takes off with a big smile. So everyone, I think there's a bunch of cameos that I'm missing out because this has been going on. I'm in like season 2 right now, but I imagine there's like a bunch of cameos. I could be wrong though. Maybe that's the only one. I don't know why they just be like, hey, we're going to throw Jimmy Johnson in this episode. But anyway, it was pretty funny. It's actually a pretty funny show. I enjoy it. I think you'd like it, man.
I think I would like to. I'd like to give it a try. Is that on Hulu? You said?
Yeah, you can find. I think season 2 right now is on Hulu. Season 1 is not. Season 1 was like 13 episodes. It was pretty short. But I think they were just testing the waters to see how they could go. And at the end of season 1, I didn't think there was. I think they had planned on not being a season 2. They must have, or just had that out ready to go, just in case they weren't going to get picked up. But they've done a pretty good job so far. I've actually really impressed with how much I've liked the show. I like being able to sit down and watch like half-hour comedy shows, just because a lot of times that's all I can fit in during the day, and then maybe at night I can catch a 2-hour show. But it's tough to sit down with kids and make it through something that it demands your attention for an hour or more. It's tough.
I know you and I both. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there.
No, you're fine, dude.
But
Go ahead.
I know you and I both have enjoyed. We both started watching Last Man Standing.
Yes.
And we both came in late to the game.
Oh my gosh!
That
Probably one of the funniest shows that I've really enjoyed. You know, there's a sitcom every once in a while that I'm sorry I missed and came in late on. Like, I came in at I think when did the season end? Was it earlier this year?
Earlier this year, they canceled it.
Yeah, so season 6 I think ended earlier this year, and we started watching season 1 it was right after I moved into this house. So it was right at the beginning of April, and we breezed through 5 seasons up to at least, close to a month ago, I think we finished it. All 6 seasons. And it certainly should get picked up by somebody else. If Netflix has the opportunity, man, that was a good show. I enjoyed it.
So, yeah, I did too. I'm on episode 2 of, I noticed on Netflix that Riverdale is on there.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's
one
of
them
episode CW shows that are immediately like going right over the. So what's going on? What do you think?
It's not your mom and daddy's Archie. I was cooking while I was watching the first episode, so I mean, I was watching. I know what's going on, and I'm following it. But man, there's some craziness in there. Jughead wasn't even in the first episode hardly, and then
wow.
So Archie and Jughead had a falling out apparently. Archie's having an affair with Miss Grundy, who's not like Miss Grundy in the comic books. Yeah, but he had a summer fling with Miss Grundy, who is hot in the show, like super hot. Hiram Lodge, Veronica's dad, is being He has. He's under investigation for embezzlement and fraud and all this other stuff. So it's just her and her mom, who took a job at Pop's Chocolate Shop. And
oh, goody.
Archie's mom's not in the picture for some reason. Betty's dad is not in the picture for some reason. So, which leads me to believe that maybe Betty and Archie's mom and dad are going to might have something going on. I don't. They haven't said anything. Hasn't really caught on to that. But I just figured, hey, everybody else is messing around. Why not those two?
Yeah.
So there's twins. You know who Cheryl Blossom is? Jason and Cheryl Blossom. I think that's the last name.
Well, I don't know. But I assume they're twins because you just told me.
Yeah, the redheaded twins that everybody hated. They were like Veronica Lodge on crack. Only with no niceness. They were just mean. They were rich and mean.
Oh, okay.
So she's psychotic. He's dead because he was murdered over the summer apparently. It's just like I'm like all they did was take the names from the Archie comic book series, and they made just a teen angst drama show, and I'm like, well, I'm one episode in, might as well go with two.
I was gonna say, are you stuck? Are you roped in?
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, but it's just one of those shows where like they took a wholesome family comic book and they made this mess out of it.
Oh, so, man. Ronnie's childhood gets ruined again.
I play the curmudgeon-y, don't touch my childhood thing on here, but most of the time I don't care. I mean, some things I do, most of the time in real life, outside of a podcast, I'm like, whatever, I don't care. Somebody's making millions of dollars off of it. That's why they did it.
Mm-hmm.
This one hit a little harder. This one struck home a little quicker than any other.
It's because of that wholesome vibe that now is no longer there, huh?
Yeah. And Reggie, he hasn't been in it much. Moose is still in it. Kevin Keller, Archie, the Archie-verse, Riverdale's first gay character is in it. But they even took what they made him to be and just turned him into the stereotypical gay best friend of all the girls. And, all this other stuff. And I'm just like, this is just a high school drama. Why, what are they doing right now? But, it is what it is. I'll give it another shot. I'll watch a little bit of it. But anyway, it's a television show I haven't seen, so, I need something to do while the lasagna's cooking. But got made lasagna tonight. But so the reason that we, I brought you on here is that today I picked up Injustice 2, the video game.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm like, So I'm kind of like, kind of excited to play it. It's still installing on the Xbox. Maybe I'll give it a shot tonight. Maybe I'll wait till tomorrow. But in all this hype, in all this craziness, with Injustice and all that, it really got me thinking about DC and the movies. Now, of course, we've got this has been they've gone over Wonder Woman. You probably heard it on Damn You Hollywood this week. They've we did Wonder Woman. You say it.
Hikatea on source material.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was going to let you take the fall if it's wrong.
Dude, I mispronounced Themyscira. Why do I keep putting an I after the R? It's not there, Ronnie Adams. It's Themyscira.
Okay.
Themyscira. I keep doing it.
Yeah.
I messed it up so much.
Yeah, well, the entire time I was watching Wonder Woman, the movie the other night,
I
was sitting there going, Jesse says it wrong. And
yeah.
No, this is bad.
No. How did they pronounce it in the theater?
Themyscira.
Themyscira. Okay, that makes sense. I kept messing that. I misplaced the I every single time. I kept Themyscirians, Themysciria. All right, I'm one for the wiser. So I've learned my lesson. I know now how to pronounce it. The thing is, I'll never do another Wonder Woman comic probably for at least another 3 years, and by that time I'll forget.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's just how it is.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. But so it's Wonder Woman itself as a movie. Gosh, freaking DC needed that, man. That movie, I haven't listened to. Forgive me, Mark. I haven't listened to Damn You Hollywood yet, but DC needed that. To me, it was a shot in the arm. It was just an incredible movie. I read some things. I don't know where it came from, but somebody showed me today. A friend of mine showed me today that it, of course, is the highest-rated DC movie. Go figure.
Mm-hmm.
Since The Dark Knight. And it is currently rated higher than any Marvel movie except for Iron Man.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is...
Did it come from the internet?
Wow. Yeah.
That's true.
It's true. It has to be. It's an internet. It's the internet. I mean, come on.
That's right.
So,
rated higher than Superman 3. Sorry, Mark Radulich.
Mark Radulich, you, sir. To this day, I guess he will fight any man or any woman or any child or any being that says that Superman 3 is a crappy movie. I stand by that. Superman 3 is a terrible movie.
Oh,
don't you even pretend to like it.
Richard Pryor was at his height in '83 because Richard Pryor came out with Here and Now, the stand-up comedy, in 1983. I mean,
you're right.
The dude had he had a lot of fire under him to show up in a Superman movie. It's no wonder that I watched it over and over. And
well, yeah, I mean, I have nothing against Richard Pryor in that. Nothing. It's the rest of the crap that goes on in it that I have. Okay, never mind. We're not talking about Superman 3.
No. That's right. Not bad DC movies.
Yeah. So looking into that, I mean, it's currently the highest rated since The Dark Knight. Now, a lot of people may agree with me. A lot of people may not agree with me. I don't know where you stand on it. But the Dark Knight trilogy was pretty much amazing.
It's good.
I mean, there were some things. Yeah, there were some things that I would change in it. But Heath Ledger and his, breaking out as the Joker, Tom Hardy as Bane. I mean, even Ra's al Ghul was, what is his name? Oh my gosh! Neeson. Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul was he did very well in that. I thought that the pinnacle, the peak of it was The Dark Knight, the whole Joker storyline.
Yes.
So I thought that was the best one out of the three, but they're all still really amazing. So those were great. So DC kind of fell off the map for a while. And then we got, not for a while, but just, a couple of years. And we kept hearing about the Man of Steel. Then Man of Steel came out. And everybody absolutely pooped on it. Pooped on it. What did you think of Man of Steel?
I honestly did not think it was that bad. This is, I mean, here's the deal. The only thing I can remember really specifically criticizing it for was the camera angles of the movie where it was like, oh, there's a faraway shot and then, zoom in real close and you can see what's going on. That part of the film trade itself and how the film was constructed. Yeah. Now as for the story, I didn't think it was horrible. I mean, everybody that I've heard on our network, you know, the main criticism was about the whole death toll and collateral damage that these two had as they fought throughout Metropolis. That wasn't sticking out of my head other than, you know, okay, well, yeah, there goes a building. It probably should have stuck out in my head a lot more than what it did, but I didn't hate the movie. I didn't hate the movie. I didn't hate it.
I didn't either. I didn't, you know, it wasn't end all be all Superman movies for me, but it wasn't as bad as everybody's letting on. And to me, it was what it was. I mean, it was a lot better than Superman Returns.
Yeah.
So
not enough happened in that movie at all. There could have been I mean, you had Kevin Spacey, who I thought was going to be a great Lex Luthor, which I think he was a bright spot in that movie at some point and in some points. But then we had Super Kid at the end, and that was just like, I don't know here, guys. I really don't. Things are kind of going off track. So, yeah, I think it beat Superman Returns pretty easy.
Right. I mean, like, I'm not, you know, Brandon Routh. Okay, let's talk about him for a second. As far as you know, Superman goes, I think Brandon Routh did a fantastic job. I think he should have made the character his own because he acted a little too much like Christopher Reeve. For my, you know, I don't know if he did that on purpose, but he could play Christopher Reeve in if they ever did a, you know, biopic of,
like a bio,
you know, like a biography. So I mean, it was scary to watch because it was like, oh my gosh, how much like him is he? And it was really cool. You know, the epic landing of the plane, the whole nine. I was like, you know, maybe they're getting this right. And then, you know, like you said, Super Kid came up and all this other stuff, using kryptonite to grow mountains in the water. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't bad. I mean, I don't think it's crazy, stupid bad, but it wasn't great. It wasn't what I don't think everybody had been waiting for all these years at all. And then you get Man of Steel. Man of Steel is more of the moody cousin of the early Superman movies. It's like, all right, now we're going to make him a little bit more of an attitude, which he did. He wasn't the wisecracking Clark Kent or the goofy Clark Kent or anything like that. He was, you know, I'm Clark Kent that works on the oil rig that that caught on fire. So I'm sad. And Kevin Costner, I don't think he did a bad job as Pa Kent, but the whole running into the tornado to save, you know, the dog that escaped anyway. You know, I must run into the tornado. I've been looking at him as a dad. No one will see you. Go get the dog. You know, you're that fast. And it was a dog, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the dog.
Yeah, the dog was stuck in the car, and wouldn't come out of the car.
So, you know, blame it on the dog. But it wasn't. It wasn't good and wasn't bad. And then, if I'm not mistaken, we jumped from that to Suicide Squad.
Okay. Now, again, this is unfamiliar territory for me.
I'm sorry. We go from that to Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice. I apologize. We go from that to Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice / Intro of the Justice League / Death of Superman / all the other storylines they meshed into one. Batman Year One or Batman Dark Knight Returns or whatever you want to throw in there. There were so many comic book story arcs in one movie that it was just kind of like it could have been an amazing movie, but they tried to cram too much crap into 3 hours, 2.5 hours, that you focus more on that than you did anything else, or at least I did. What did you think?
Okay. Now, I'm not one to revisit a whole lot of movies. So, especially one. Now, I think I watched the extended. Was it called the extended cut? The one that's like really long?
Yes.
3 hours long.
Yeah.
So I think that's the one I watched. And I pretty much watched it one Sunday morning with the kids in the kitchen. So
right.
I had sat there, and it actually kept my kids' interest, which is pretty interesting.
Okay.
For them to sit still and watch a movie. So I don't know. I didn't hate it as much as I've heard other people dislike it, but it was it was probably it was a movie, and as I said prior to it, either it was right prior or right after it had come out. There's going to be one chance that you're going to see Superman versus Batman on the big screen, and that's it.
Right.
That was it.
Yeah.
Now I'll tell you right now, if they would have danced around the whole issue and these guys wouldn't have fought, oh man, I would have really been upset because the movie's got to live up to its title.
Yeah.
If you say Superman versus Batman, it better go down, and it did. I think it was okay. It probably could have been a little bit better, but I'm not going to fault them. Go ahead.
They took a lot out of Dark Knight Returns, that storyline. I know you've read it with Frank Miller.
Yeah.
Storyline of Batman. Batman's a little younger in this than he is in Dark Knight Returns. In Dark Knight Returns, he's in his mid to late 50s, maybe early 60s. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm. He's old. He's up there.
Too old to be swinging from building to building and kicking people in the face. He's still built like a tank, but in this one he's probably early 40s. However old Ben Affleck really is probably that, Batman's probably that age. Mm-hmm. So he's been in the game for a little while, but as you go along in Dark Knight Returns, Batman comes back. He's retired, but he comes back. The government sees him as a threat, so they send their government, their guy, which is Superman, to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
Superman and Batman have a knockdown drag out where Batman has prepared for him with this giant suit of armor, which he can plug into the city's power grid or do all these different things. And his strength is not on par with Superman's, but it's highly magnified. So they took all of that and they put it into Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was some a few things that were different, which you can't put a lot of that in there. But they worked in the storyline with Lex Luthor, who was played by none other than Jesse Eisenberg, because that's the logical choice. So Lex Luthor gets a hold of some kryptonite. Batman steals it from him. Batman develops kryptonite gas grenades, which weakens Superman. And Batman, they get into their fight. The whole, do you bleed kind of thing going on. So they have their Dark Knight Returns fight until Superman is on the outs. Batman's about to kill him with a kryptonite spear. Yes, that's a real thing in the movie. And he says, "You're killing Martha. You have to save Martha." He says, "Why did you say that name?" He said, "Martha, what are you talking about? Is that your mom's name?" "Yes." "Did we just become best friends?" "Yep." "Let's go do karate in the garage." So they go do karate in the garage. They become best friends. Superman dies because Lex Luthor has created Doomsday. Who else shows up in the movie? Wonder Woman shows up in the movie, who has the coolest theme song in any movie, any superhero movie ever, I have to say. And they bring her in. Not only do they bring her in, but they show you a little bit of the Flash. They show you a little bit of Darkseid's, Apocalypse, the world, his world. in a dream, which through the whole thing, Bruce Wayne has these crazy fever dreams, and then they show you a little bit of Aquaman, Cyborg, Flash. They link into the Justice League. Doomsday kills Superman. Wonder Woman, Batman is, they mourn over Superman. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff going on in this movie. If they just kept it between Batman and Superman, I think it would have done a lot better, a whole lot better.
I can see that.
Maybe throw a little bit of Wonder Woman in there. Maybe, I don't know. Because this led up to Wonder Woman, the movie. You know what? I'm skipping Suicide Squad because Suicide Squad wasn't exactly what everybody was looking for. It wasn't as bad as everybody said it was, but it's kind of out there on its own. The only thing that links it with the others is Batfleck. So...
And he's hardly in the movie, right? I mean, is he only in there for a short time, or?
Yeah, he's got a couple of prominent, scenes in it.
Okay.
He arrests Deadshot.
And you had Juggaloker.
Deadshot. And then you had the Juggaloker, with the gold teeth and the tattoos and the stupidity and the. I'd say Jared Leto would make a great Joker if he didn't have all that crap on him. But that's neither here nor there because nobody listens to me, especially a multi-billion-dollar company like Warner Brothers or DC. But the only thing that really ties them together is Batfleck. So Wonder Woman has currently it just started blowing minds. This movie, it blew my mind. I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't think it was going to be as good as it really was. Jesse, you haven't seen this movie yet. I'm encouraging you. Nay, I am charging you. I'm giving you a charge. I'm giving you I'm challenging you.
There you go.
To go see this. I'm telling you, dude, you're missing out by not seeing this.
Well, what did they do well in the movie?
Everything. No kidding. Gal Gadot is the perfect Wonder Woman. She is perfect as Diana Prince. She's perfect as Princess Diana. She's perfect as Wonder Woman. She's just great. Chris Pine as Steve Trevor was an ingenious choice because his quick wit, everything matched anybody that you could think of in Marvel or DC, any of the sidekick love interest or whatever, any of okay. Deadpool had Weasel, and it blew him out of the water. So, but he was also a hero in his own right in the movie. Wonder Woman was the hero. She was who you look to. But Steve Trevor was a hero in his own right. It was based in World War I. So it was you had that time period, which was really cool. You also got to see a lot of Themyscira. And how she was raised and who she was, and it was supposed to be this big. I don't want to ruin anything for you as far as the storyline goes. But you probably do know that you get to see Ares, God of War.
Yes, heard about that. Mm-hmm.
His armor, the whole thing they were spot on, and it was so good. And then you had just all the supporting characters, the plot, the writing, the feel of it. It felt like, and this is praise, because they have done everything right with their movies. This is praise. This is not me comparing apples to oranges. But I felt like I was watching a Marvel movie.
Oh, wow.
Because they have done everything right with their movies. So why, Ronnie, do you compare it to a Marvel movie? Because they're all awesome. When your worst one on the whole roster, of your movies is Incredible Hulk, and it's still pretty darn good, you've got you got a reason to brag. So you set a bar, and Wonder Woman went over that bar. I really believe that. So that's my take on the DC movies so far. So if can keep going where they're going, if they can keep going where they're going, they're gonna give Marvel a run for their money.
Well, do we have any idea what is upcoming for the DCEU?
Justice League. They started releasing trailers for that.
Okay.
They're probably going to do a Aquaman, maybe a Flash movie. They've got The Batman with Ben Affleck.
Oh.
I don't know if he.
I got it.
So
I got him here. I've got the schedule. Here we go. All right. So we already talked about Suicide Squad. Wonder Woman got dropped. Justice League. Is Justice League supposed to drop this year? Certainly not.
They're doing reshoots on it. Okay. So I think it may be next year.
Aquaman is slated for 2018, according to, I'm on Wikipedia, by the way, so there's probably a site out there that's a little bit more in tune. But okay, So we got Aquaman. Here's one that I think has very good potential, in my opinion, just because of who they roped in for it, and that's Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking what?
Yeah.
The Rock as Black Adam?
As
Black
Adam. I can agree with that. I can get down with that.
Yeah, dude. He'll do a good job. Which, by the way, I had to tell Caleb last night. I had the opportunity to inform Caleb last night, my 7-year-old son, that The Rock was the voice of Maui in Moana. And he was like, that ain't The Rock.
Did it blow his 7-year-old mind?
He was like, that ain't The Rock. That's The Rock singing. Because we've, of course, heard You're Welcome like 90,000 times in this house. Thank you, Kira Shea Starcher. Because she's a peddler of that Disney crack that she likes to play there.
Well, yeah.
But anyway, it's it blew his mind. But yeah, I'm down with Black Adam.
Yeah, The Rock's got some fights
is Black
too,
Adam.
man.
Mm-hmm. And then 2020, according to this, Cyborg and Green Lantern Corps.
Ooh.
So now we didn't mention the previous Green Lantern film on here yet, have we? In this conversation that we're having?
But it is a touchy subject.
Okay.
Because I like it.
Do you really?
I do. I don't think it's a fantastic.
Even old Cloud enemy
Parallax?
at the end. I can't. Parallax, yes, Cloud Parallax.
Yeah. Well,
come on.
That they could have done a little better, but man, up to this point in comic book history, comic book movie history, that was one of the few movies that followed the storyline in the book.
Yeah.
It matched up to it. So it wasn't Ryan Reynolds, while not an Academy Award winning actor, has pretty darn good comedic timing.
Yeah, he does.
And he
can
act.
Good stuff. Mm-hmm.
So he did very well as Hal Jordan. Could have been a better franchise? Absolutely. Could have been a better movie? Absolutely. But it wasn't that bad. It's not as bad as I don't think it's as bad as everybody lets on.
I can remember
pure hell from people because I said I liked Green Lantern. And they're like, "Hey, Ronnie, how's this next movie?" And I'm like, I watched it. It's really good. Well, we don't trust you because you like Green Lantern. I hate you.
I can remember when the discussion was coming about for the Green Lantern film to be released.
Sure.
And everybody was talking about Ryan Reynolds potentially having the spot. And I was like, man, Ryan Reynolds would be a great Guy Gardner but not
well,
not like how I couldn't see him being Hal Jordan, and I think he pulled it off. It was okay for what he did in that movie. It was all right.
Well, I think he does a better Hal Jordan than he did with a Guy Gardner. I really do. Mainly because Guy Gardner has that violent side.
Yeah.
You know?
But he was the wisecracking. He was always like a wisecracking smartass, wasn't he? I mean, that was kind of like his deal.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that's all Ryan Reynolds. And what's strange is I was basing a lot of that upon his portrayal of Deadpool in the Wolverine movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Ryan Reynolds becomes Deadpool.
Yeah.
Well, no, at the end of the Wolverine movie, that's not good. But as
no,
then we get to see Ryan Reynolds actually take on the role of Deadpool in the Deadpool movie.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is like there's malice to Guy Gardner. He's mean in in his wisecracking. Hal Jordan was a wisecracker too, but he was more of the fun-loving one, which I think Ryan Reynolds pulled off. So I think it wasn't as bad. Is it a 10 out of 10? No. It's more like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. But it wasn't as bad as everybody said.
Okay.
So,
that's a good argument.
I'll
let that stand.
Well, thank you, Judge Starcher. So, I mean, DC has constantly has swings and misses with their movies. Now, their animated movies, normally home runs. I have to give them props on their animated side of their cinematic universe. So, I just watched the Teen Titans movie, and it was really good. I watched Son of the Batman. I liked it.
Oh, I had a list here of I just typed in, of course, DC movies, and there was a lot of animated films that I never had the opportunity to watch. I'm looking through a few of them right now. You want me to run down a few? You tell me if they're good or bad, or if you've never seen them.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Mm-hmm. All right, All-Star Superman. Have you seen that one?
It's been a while, but yes,
okay.
I think I liked it.
All right. We have Batman versus Robin.
I liked it.
Okay. We have Batman Assault on Arkham. Came out in 2014.
Yes, I really liked that one.
Okay. Batman Bad Blood came out in 2016.
Is that the one with Jason Todd? Red mask, red hood.
I can't.
Red hood,
no, I don't know. On the cover here, it has Nightwing, what looks to be a Nightwing to me, and I assume Batgirl. Let me see if they say anything about what the synopsis is here. When Batman goes missing, it will take the entire Bat family, including new additions Batwoman and Batwing. My bad. Not Nightwing, Batwing, I bet. To keep the peace in Gotham City. No, Nightwing's in here. My bad. Nightwing, Robin, Batwoman, Batwing. Yeah, that's no mention of Jason Todd in that one. So that came out in.
I've not.
What did we say?
I don't think I've seen that one. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now here's a throwback, and you might remember this one. I always saw it at Parmar. Never picked it up to watch it, and I don't know why. 1993, Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
Dude, love that movie. Own that VHS. Watched it till it almost broke.
Really
love
good,
that
huh?
movie. You know why? Because it was one of the first Batman animated movies where it was like PG-13. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and there was some cursing in it, and I was like, oh my gosh. And there was some blood in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's blood. He punched the Joker.
Gotta get my hands on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so I loved that movie. Loved Mask of the Phantasm.
All right. Here's Batman Under the Red Hood.
Okay.
Came out in 2010. Never seen that one. I haven't seen that. I still have yet. What's that?
I think that's the one. That's the one I was thinking of. Under the Red Hose is really good.
Okay. All right.
It's got Bruce Greenwood as Batman, Jensen Ackles as Jason Todd. Who is Jensen Ackles plays in Supernatural. He plays Dean Winchester in Supernatural.
Oh,
and
my wife's been wanting me to watch Supernatural for a while. Still haven't sat down and watched like one episode of that yet.
Bad.
She loves it.
It's not. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not exactly like what I wanted it to be, but it's not bad.
Okay.
Especially the first season. Neil Patrick Harris as Dick Grayson.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Cole as. Do you know who Gary Cole is?
Name sounds familiar.
Gary Cole played Bill Lundberg in Office Space. Reese Bobby in Talladega Nights. Bill Lundberg. Yeah, I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in on Saturday.
Yes, okay. I know exactly. Okay.
All right, so he played Lundberg.
Okay.
So it had some good names in it. It had some good actors, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie.
How about, did you watch, I haven't watched this yet, and this was all the rage, people still talking about it, Batman, The Killing Joke.
Yes, I watched it.
Oh, wow.
I was very disappointed in it. Very disappointed
in it. Did you watch any Green Lantern animated films?
Some. I watched. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, hold on.
Oh, no.
I got.
You go. Yeah.
All right.
You go.
First Flight, and then we had Emerald Knights.
I watched both of those.
Okay. All right.
So I did watch. I didn't know if there's any more than that. But I did watch both of those, and I liked them.
Yeah, it's the only two I see listed so far. Okay, Justice League Dark.
Oh, love Justice League Dark.
Was it good?
Just watched that the other day. Yeah, I loved it.
Oh, nice.
So that's the first animated DC thing I've seen Swamp Thing in.
Very cool.
I'm a secret Swamp Thing fan.
Well, we had this one right here. I remember watching just because it kind of, it speaks to me. It's got parallel Earths, and that's Justice League Crisis on Two Earths.
I did watch that one.
Yeah, that was a good one where it came out in 2010. So I've been wanting to watch.
Yeah.
I think I even have this on DVD. It's Justice League Doom. Where
it wasn't bad.
Batman does some. I gave the animated universe a hard time last time we were talking with Mark. I was like, I heard a lot of those movies suck, but now that I'm looking at it, like a few of these I definitely would want to check out. There's the Flashpoint Paradox. So
I really liked the Flashpoint Paradox.
I heard that was it was kind of mature, right?
It's very mature.
I'm looking to see what the rating was. They had one, and they don't.
PG-13, I think.
Was it?
Yeah,
so,
it wasn't quite R. The Killing Joke was the first R-rated DC
animated film,
animated movie.
Okay.
Justice League Dark was its second. Gotcha.
And let me see. I'm looking through just to see if there's any others that catch my eye. I remember hearing Justice League War. I have no idea.
I can't remember. Cannot remember. That's sad that I don't remember that.
Synopsis of that one: an alien attack threatening cataclysmic worldwide devastation brings together the world's greatest superheroes for the first time in Justice League War. So that's like the formation of the Justice League. Based on the 2012, that's New 52 territory right there. Based on the 2012 graphic novel Justice League Origin by Jeff Johns and Jim Lee. Well, that's a tag team right there. And you think that
remember it. Yeah.
I remember reading and being so excited that we were going to get Jim Lee doing comics again. Jeff Johns is going to write it. Oh my gosh. And then I think I read the first two issues and I was like, all right, well, give me back my Marvel.
Yeah, pretty much.
And 2012, man, that was was a heyday for Marvel too. So let's look and let's see what else here catches my eye. I'm looking for anything else. Superman versus the Elite. I remember reading that and watching it. That was a good one.
Versus the Elite.
That's where.
What's the synopsis on that one?
Okay, the Elite is like this team of, this team of heroes / anti-heroes that kind of, one of my, I want to give you this reference. Most of our listeners probably aren't going to understand it, but Supreme, the superhero from Image Comics, was just really powerful like Superman and would take out any threat with just extreme prejudice. So if you were, one of the most famous stories is one of the first stories that's told where Supreme shows up and just melts the face off of these terrorists that are holding this airport or this place hostage. And he just shows up and kills every single one of them. There's no talking them down, none of that. He just, okay, threat's taken care of. I'm done, moving on to the next thing. Well, this group called the Elite have similar motivations where, hey, we're here. We're very powerful. And we're going to start doing things our own way. And nobody can tell us to do anything different. They're not villains, but they're looked upon by the society as heroes and people who actually get the job done. And what makes the story very interesting is the fact you have Superman who does not kill without compunction, or is that a word, compunction?
Right.
Well, he has a conscience.
It is now.
It is. Yeah, we'll put it in the book. I'm going to play it on Words with Friends tonight. It's it's a he's got a conscience and he doesn't do things just off the cuff. He's got that Boy Scout attitude. And then you have the Elite who are just, they will dispatch it, do whatever means necessary. If it means taking their head off, they'll do it. Until finally they come head to head, like Superman versus the Elite. And it gets really, really good because you don't know how these guys are powerful, and you don't know how Superman's going to beat them. So it's a very good story, and it's a very good. It was so good, and it's rare for me to want to read something and then turn around and watch the cartoon based off of it because I already know what happened in the story itself. But it convinced me to do so. So I would absolutely suggest that if you get the opportunity, watch it. You'll enjoy it.
Cool. I will definitely
check it out. I'm looking to see if there's anything else here, and then I'll let you. I'll turn it back over to you. Obviously, I've taken up.
Oh no, you're fine.
Superman, Batman, Apocalypse. Have not watched that. I've seen a ton of.
I have.
Okay, is it any good?
It's pretty good.
Okay, Superman Doomsday. I watched that in preparation for when we covered the death of Superman on source material. I'm trying to see if anything else stands out here. That's it. That's all I see. Are we going to count the Lego Batman movie?
No, we're not.
All right, somewhat animated. Judas Contract. Did you watch the Judas Contract yet? That just came out, I think.
didn't.
I've heard that's a tremendous story to read, but the animated version just released.
The Teen Titans.
Yep.
Yeah, the Teen Titans Judas Contract. Yes, it is a fantastic. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
All right.
Because it has, Blue Beetle, Robin,
Deathstroke.
Raven. And it has Sean Mayer. I never knew how to pronounce his last name, but he plays Nightwing. It's Themyscira. He plays Nightwing. And several, Son of Batman, Batman Bad Blood, Teen Titans, Judas Contract, Justice League. Let's see. I think it's Justice League versus Teen Titans. Batman versus Robin. He has played Nightwing in a lot of he's voiced Nightwing in a lot of these things. But he was also Simon in Joss Whedon's Firefly and Serenity.
Oh.
Dr. Simon Tan. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I know. Yeah. Christina Ricci. gosh, who else was in this? Meg Foster. Kevin Smith played himself.
He actually showed up as an animated Kevin Smith?
Yes, and it was amazing. So
that's hilarious.
Actually, I don't think they ever really showed his face that I remember.
Oh, okay.
But he was doing the Smodcast.
I got you.
He was interviewing Beast Boy. So it was actually.
I can just really see that right now. Welcome back to the Smodcast.
Yeah.
I have here Beast Boy.
And everybody's like, "Well, Kev's lost it." But, so great movie.
That's all I have, man.
Their live. I was going to say their live action is finally catching up. Well, this movie, Wonder Woman, has finally caught up to their animated, whereas the animated Marvel movies really need to catch up to their live action. So, I've always thought that where DC has it animated, Marvel's kind of lacking. Where Marvel has absolutely destroyed it in live action movies, DC was lacking. So, but Wonder Woman's cleaned up at the theaters, man. It's been really good.
Yeah, man, that's all I've been hearing about.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised at my goodness at how many people have actually really loved it. So, in fact, that was one of the reasons why I picked up Injustice 2 today. Because it got me, thinking about all the Marvel characters that I've, not Marvel, sorry. Ugh.
Oh,
all the
boy.
DC characters, the characters that I've loved and that, you get to see on, this video game. They've added a few, took away a couple.
Have you ever...
Down the, huh?
Oh, I was going to say, have you ever... Why don't you explain to our listeners real quick, like, the concept behind Injustice? Because that's a pretty cool concept.
The first one, the Joker was actually running amok in Metropolis, and nobody stopped him, and he set off a bomb that killed a bunch of people, Lois Lane included.
Yeah.
Superman snaps, kills the Joker, kills him. So
I remember reading the comic before the video game ever was even thought of. I had my hands on the comic and was reading the comic, and I was like, yeah, I'm a big Elseworlds fan. Many people probably know that already, or a What If fan. And this is kind of like in that vein. This is a What If universe. And I remember reading the comic.
This is Injustice. Yeah, this is Injustice 2.
Yeah, I know. You're talking about the 2 is the one you have, but the story you're giving us is the first one.
Yes, yeah. So the first one, Superman cracks. He takes over the world pretty much, and becomes the despot leader of Earth. Everybody works for Superman. So the other superheroes, they have devised this formula that makes them just as strong and can take as much damage. So they go on this quest to stop Superman. That's how the video game storyline went. Now this one apparently is right along with that. I haven't played the storyline yet, so I'm really looking forward to see where they pick up, what's going on. The roster right now, of course, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. So you got your Trinity, your DC Trinity.
Yep.
Then it goes into Joker is a playable character. So I don't know how he made it back. Then you've got Atrocitus.
Atrocitus from
with the cat.
Yeah, from the Red Lantern. Rage.
Yeah, so I'm pretty
awesome.
pumped to play him. Yeah. Gorilla Grodd.
Flash Rogue.
Cheetah. Deadshot. Poison Ivy. You can actually buy Brainiac for $5.99 and play him, which I'll probably end up doing. I'm not gonna lie. Bane, Scarecrow, Robin, and not the Robin that you're used to. This Robin carries a sword, so I think it's Damian Wayne. Captain Cold.
I was going to say, if I remember correctly, in the first set of comics, Robin, they try to like do some kind of crazy stuff, I think, against Superman. This is early in the book, and Robin ends up slipping and falling and breaking his neck. So the Robin we know dies in the beginning of those books. So that's crazy. Go ahead.
Nuts. Okay. Black Adam, which is awesome. Black Canary, Aquaman, Firestorm.
Hey,
Blue
hold
Beetle.
on. Let me stop you. What color is Black Canary's hair? Are you looking at a picture?
Yeah.
What color is Black Canary's hair in Injustice?
Blonde.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good.
Black.
Well, sir, just to do a real quick tangent. So we had, you remember the CBIQ I took over to the Kapow the podcast, Kapow the Pop Culture podcast, right?
Yeah.
One of the questions was indeed, what color is the Black Canary's hair? So
Black.
Now there is the answer that was in the back of the book. She's got black hair.
The blonde is a wig.
Now there it is. And that's so funny because these boys, namely Jordan and Seth, the Grand Poobah,
right.
Anytime there's a trivia, these guys are at the top. All right, that's usually what we've seen so far. That's been standards fare. And so what ended up happening is that was a bone of contention between them both, to where there were quite a few posts that Kapow posted on Facebook of Black Canary and what her hair color was. I think Seth posted a picture of the 1985 Who's Who, 2 pictures of 2 Black Canaries, both with blonde hair, and underneath the caption read, "Them are some pretty brunettes." So it was, yeah. Anyway, I'm just curious. I wondered if the Injustice world has changed so much to where her hair was black in that one. But
pretty much it's still blonde, but for years she's always been a brunette or had dark hair. But she's always worn the blonde wig as part of her costume. So
that's right.
I've known that since I was a kid. You know what?
Now, calm down, Ronnie. Calm down.
The Kapow podcast on trivia.
These guys. No, let me tell you. These guys, they may be putting a team together. If everything goes right, and we have the Marvel trivia this coming September. I think that's when Mark said we're open. The Kapow the Pop Culture podcast might have a team together to compete. So I'll tell you right now, if it's Jordan and the Poobah, it's going to be interesting to see that team versus everybody else. And me and you know a lot of people who know a lot about comics. You included, Ronnie. I'm not including you. I'm glad I get to be the trivia master instead and sit back and ask the questions, because I would not want to compete in this thing. It's going to get bloodthirsty. People are going to be. It's going to get ugly. But you're okay.
Is that I had Justin Teasley and the patriarch Mark Radulich.
I remember that.
I held them up by their necks, and I said, "I am the champion. Bow to me." And then I threw them down because
you did Injustice style.
It was. I mean, like, no. In all reality, they will probably. I might. I don't know. I don't want to say I could give them a run for their money, but maybe. I don't know. But whether they were stopping me or not, it would come down to a stupid question like that, where I'd be like, "No, she's got black hair," and everybody'd be like, "How do you know that?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but she got black hair." They're like, "No, she's blonde. She's blonde. No, she's got a blonde wig that she wears." And they're like, "You didn't know who Hal Jordan was. How do you know that Black Canary has blonde hair?" I don't know. I just remember stupid things. And that was it.
It's
It would come down to
amazing. It's amazing to me the small questions that have the most ridiculous answers that become the bone of contention for the winner and the loser. And that was one. It came down to a girl's hair color, and then there was another question that was pretty. Man, it certainly wasn't which one's a Republican or whatever we had when we were doing.
Why?
It wasn't that bad, but I walked into Kapow that night and I said, "Look, whatever is in this book is the answer. There will be no overturning. There will be no half points. If it's in the key, it's in the key. That's the answer. So therefore, if it was in fact a Republican answer, or that RoboCop, Cyborg, and all of them are Republicans, then and that's the way it was in the book, then that's the way it was, Ronnie Adams. That's just the way it was."
Well,
who's next on the roster?
No. Darkseid is a purchasable character. Blue Beetle, Dr. Fate, Green Arrow, Supergirl, Swamp Thing, Cyborg, Catwoman, The Flash, Green Lantern, and Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn
are all playable characters.
Harley Quinn is not like downloadable content.
No, she is there.
That's good. Okay, that's good, because that's just, if they wouldn't include that, that's just that's clearly taking advantage of the popularity. Yeah, the popularity of that character by making her DLC. Excuse me.
I will say this: if any good came out of Suicide Squad the movie, if any good came out of it, it is Margot Robbie playing Crazy Harley Quinn. She is downright perfect.
She's got it down.
With that role. Yeah, she really does. The Mr. J, the whole nine. There was some parts in that movie where I was really impressed with how they there's that iconic classic picture of Joker and Harley Quinn, where he's in a tuxedo and she's in her classic, jester outfit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've seen it. Well, they recreate that in that movie, and I did a double take. I was like, I can't wait to watch this at home where I can rewind and pause and look at this.
They did a good job.
If it hadn't been for the stupid gold teeth and that stupid damaged tattoo on his forehead, I hate that. Anyway, so there's a lot of good things that are happening in the DC Cinematic Universe, but they, unfortunately, in the past have not outweighed the bad. Wonder Woman does not forgive all of the bad, but it's a freaking good start, man. It's a really good start. So I encourage you, I challenge you, I beg of you to go to watch that movie some way, somehow, somewhere. Watch Wonder Woman. So that's pretty much it. That's all I had planned. Talk a little bit DC Cinematic. Oh, wow. Apparently I went through puberty again. Talk a little bit of, what is wrong with me tonight? Talk a little bit of DC Cinematic Universe and see where that led us. And I think it led us down a good road. I apparently lost my mind there for a minute and threw down the gauntlet to the Kapow, the Pop Culture Podcast fellas in trivia. But I'll stand by my word. I'll go against them. I may go down, but I'll go down fighting.
Be prepared. I was messaged earlier this week by one of the members asking about how to get stuff together to do stuff online. So they may actually start branching out and doing some recording, some YouTube Live videos, Google Hangouts, and whatnot. So Yeah, man. It may be on. Be prepared.
I tell you what, man. As long as Mark lets us, do this on Friday nights, I will invite them on if they happen to be listening. And this goes, for Dueling Ogres, whoever. All these great shows that we know, that we're friends with. Kapow, Dueling Ogres, the Powcast, whoever. If you want to come on the Screaming Boy podcast and do a little trivia, shake a little, roll a little, trivia a little, you're more than welcome. Because I'll take you down, son.
Oh, man.
I'll take you
Strong
down to
words
Chinatown.
from Ronnie Adams. Strong words.
I won't really take you down. I just want you on my show because y'all's shows are better than mine, and I think it'll help me out.
We need content.
We need content. So, please, come on my show. No. But, yeah, we can do some trivia on here, man. Just some preliminary warm-ups to the big showdown in September.
Dude, I'd be down for that. I've had a couple show ideas, actually, and man, I've got a stack of wizards over there. Because I didn't get rid of all of them. I've got a stack of wizards. That's a lot of CBIQ, my friend. A lot. Yeah,
okay,
buddy.
Right here, live on the Radulich Broadcasting Network, Ronnie is going on the Screaming Boy Twitter.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going to
right
say,
now.
Hey, at Kapow. What? I don't know their.
You don't know their Twitter? Way to go, Ronnie. Hey, Kapow, he doesn't follow you.
I totally do. I just don't have him on here.
Hold on, I could tell you. Give me a minute. Twitter pated.
This is good pod right here.
Oh yeah,
Hey, Dueling Ogres, and I know theirs. It's just at Dueling Ogres,
do I not follow these guys?
Are you all on Twitter?
KPP, the Kapow Podcast. That's what it is. It's the Kapow Podcast.
Got it.
There you go. Man, they're going to wonder what they missed tonight. They're recording their show tonight on Wonder Woman. That's going to probably air next week.
Screaming Boy has an open invitation to you for some live, not love, live.
Love trivia.
Not love. Live.
Love trivia.
Trivia. If you dare.
If you dare. Oh, man.
Smiley face.
If they're recording and they get the tweet, be prepared, because they may answer the Screaming Boy call on the podcast that they're recording right now. You never know.
Well,
of course, it is 10:44.
It's not
late,
live,
but that's
so we
right.
won't know until they bring it out.
That's right. That is right. That's right.
So, but listen, I love those guys. I think they're both in both shows. I think they make phenomenal shows. I wouldn't have done that if I didn't like them, and I wouldn't humiliate myself by getting defeated by both of them if I didn't think it would make for a good show, and I didn't like them and respect them as podcasters and men of the nerd culture. So, it was a great idea. Jesse, you're a genius.
Oh, I got all sorts of them over here.
So, but with that, I think Jesse and I are going to call it a night, and we're going to say thank you for listening to our incoherent ramblings about the DC Cinematic Universe. Guys, if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at ScreamingBoyPR. If you want to follow us on Instagram, it's Screaming Boy Podcast. Look us up on Facebook. Give us a like. Give us a shout out on there. Just Screaming Boy Podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, and right here, for right now, mainly right here, right now, the Radulich Broadcasting Network. Jesse, tell us what you got going on, my friend.
Oh, folks, if you like comic books, you like to maybe there's a story you haven't read out there yet. And you're like, man, I wish there was a podcast so I could listen to it while I'm in my car or I'm driving to work or maybe I'm at work and I'm driving. You can most likely find a pretty popular story on my podcast, the Source Material Podcast. It's right here on the Radulich Broadcasting Network. We have got over 100. And it's about to be episode 120 with this upcoming Flash episode. Yes, that's right. We're doing Flashpoint. That's this coming Monday, so check that out. And like Ronnie said, we just did Wonder Woman Hikatea. We've got all sorts of fun stuff there in the back catalog. If you'd like to, go give the Radulich Broadcasting Network Facebook page a like to stay up on top of all the great podcasts that we have to offer. There's something on there that you may enjoy. And if you type in Radulich into just about any search engine, you're going to find the Patriarch himself, and you're going to find a lot of podcasts. Subscribe, rate, do all that fun stuff. Hey, I want to give a quick shout-out. Now, I don't normally do this, but I will plug a completely separate podcast that I personally listen to. And if you all have the opportunity, this is an evergreen podcast. This is a podcast you can go check out. But I want to congratulate and plug my boy Scott Corelli and Nick Jimenez over on Back to the Future Minute, who just finished. Today is the last episode of the trilogy, man. The trilogy is done. They've done Back to the Futures 1, 2, and 3, and today is the day that they hit the final scene. And they did a great job.
Man.
They opened up the mailbag. They sent out a call to arms, and they said, hey, everybody, send us your mail, send us your questions, whatever. And then, of course, as the credits rolled for Part 3, they dove into the mailbag, and guess who? Yours truly got his email read first. Right there. That opened it all up. Yeah, that's right. But anyway.
Good for them, they will.
Over 340 episodes. They did. Now, think about this. They watched a movie and analyzed it a minute at a time, 20 to 30 minutes of podcast. So imagine that. You talk about 1 minute of a movie for 20 to 30 minutes. And they did that with 3 movies. Of course, my favorite trilogy of all time, Back to the Future. So if you have the opportunity, don't hesitate to go over there. Maybe give them some love. Check it out. They got themselves their own little production company, which is strangely called Dueling Genre. We got the Dueling Over podcast. Yeah, and then we have Dueling Genre. So anyway, and by the way, they also do a show called Geek by Night that our friend of the network, Benjamin J. Cologne, did a audio trailer for, because I hipped him to the podcast and said, check these guys out. And then about a year on down the road, maybe a little bit less than that, he's rubbing elbows with the guys and helping them out and did an audio trailer for a Dueling Genre and Geek by Night. So anyway, yeah, it's an evergreen podcast. You can go and check that out and listen to it at any time you want. 20 years on down the road, you can do that and watch. It's like experiencing the movie all over again. And there's all sorts of minute podcasts out there, man. I'm talking the first one, the first one ever, Star Wars Minute. So they did they did episodes 4, 5, and 6, and now they're into the prequels. So they've got a while before they even come to the end of their journey. But anyway, okay, I'm done plugging other stuff, man. I just want to give those guys a shout out because that's a big accomplishment to do 340 episodes.
Yes, it is.
That's an episode a day. That's an episode a day, 5 days a week for when they start, from pretty much when they started, which was about 3 years ago. But interesting stuff. You can follow me at StizNarkey on Twitter. You can follow my show's Twitter at SourceMattCast. Keep an eye out for anything that's coming up. Thank you, Ronnie Adams, for having me on here tonight. I turn it back over to you, sir.
Thank you, Jesse Searcher, for being on here tonight. Guys, if you have anything interesting to say or you want to just give us a shout-out or anything, you can contact us at info@screamingboy.com. We will definitely get back to you. That's about it. I hope everyone has a good night, and we will talk to you next time. Take it easy.
Gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of justice, are the most powerful forces of good ever assembled. Superman, Batman and Robin, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and the Wonder Twins, Zan and Jaina, with their space monkey, Bleak.